The opening weekend of the new USL Championship season descends upon Edinburgh, Texas. Rio Grande Valley welcoming in Los Dos, a 2019 playoff side, but RGV trying to get back to those playoffs here in this new season. I'm Chris Makovic, alongside me Devin Kerr, and two sides with some new faces here in 2020, Devin.
Both of these coaches, Chris, have to deal with so many moving pieces. Let's start with RGV and the Toros and Gerson Echeverry. He's got a lot, but the good thing is they brought in a lot of young talent. Let's start with Gary McLaughlin and Luca Perpa, guys that will make an immediate impact. They are offensive-minded, and they have come from quality pedigree. McLaughlin, Kevin Hudson, SMU, had a stellar career at the collegiate level, fell short in the Elite Eight against UVA. And how about Marquette coach Bennett and what he was able to do with Luca Perpa? And the good thing for these guys is they're getting into a system, high-paced, high-tempo. Gerson Echeverry talks about taking advantage of the knowledge that's already instilled in these young men while trying to push them to another level professionally.
Yeah, for LA Galaxy 2, they were able to get to the playoffs, and McLaughlin and Perpa trying to help out the effort. In the same regard for RGV, Junior Gonzalez, now his first full season at the helm.
I feel like I've seen him before, right? We have seen him. Oh, that's right. Yeah. 2017 RGV head coach. Did well for the Toros back then. That was part of a transitional period where Wilma Cabrera had left. He was going to Houston Dynamo. When he leaves, Junior Gonzalez, he gets the opportunity. He had been at Seattle Sounders before. Then he goes to Los Angeles Galaxy as an assistant coach. Last year with the departure of Mike Munoz, he's given the interim job. He has a stellar record of 7-5-4, and he took down some really big-name teams along the way, pushing them into the 2019 playoffs. He's looking for that and beyond in 2020.
Coming up, we put a cap on the end of the opening weekend here in the 2020 season. Los Dos RGV set to do battle here in Edinburgh, Texas.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many. To plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank.
Sir, you got Bud Light?
Back there.
Bud Light made a seltzer?
Wait, Bud Light made a seltzer?
I wonder what it tastes like.
Only one way to find out. What are the taste buds saying?
Tastes great. No Bud Light, just hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Light and refreshing. It says light and refreshing.
Let's get that instead.
Wait. Post Malone doesn't drink seltzer. We drink Bud Light. Everybody knows that.
Why not try something new? Bud Light. Seltzer.
Bud Light. Seltzer. Bud Light.
Well, season 1 was much better than season 2.
Guys, we're incredibly rich. Let's get both.
I'll get both. Got any pretzels?
Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. Customization is what we've always done. We have mustard, mayo, ketchup. It's all up to you.
When you customize your own burger, you can put your personality in it.
Manny's ketchup, no cheese. This is my Whataburger.
We customize orders 24 hours a day.
Everybody wants it just like they like it. When you can make it your own, that always enhances that experience for you.
They're just happy to do whatever makes you happy.
However you want it, I got you. Here at Whataburger, we make it just like you like it, whenever you like it.
Welcome back here into HEB Park. Again, I'm Chris Makovic, alongside me, Devin Kerr, getting set for RGV and LA Galaxy 2 to end our opening weekend of USL Championship action. With that, let's get into our starting 11s. We'll begin with the home side, and it's RGV, Devin.
Some familiar names on the back line, Chris, and Robert Coronado, Victor Garza on the outside. Victor Garza, of course, picked up the ACL tear in 2018 and hasn't necessarily been the same since, trying to work him back in. Kyle Adams, nice to see him back. Paul Blanchett, former Cosmos goalkeeper, in between the pipes. How about Melich and Perpa? They're going to be interesting, pulling the strings for Kevin Rodriguez and Luke Otero. Garrett McLaughlin, those three up top have to find a way to push the pace and really challenge the back line of Los Angeles Galaxy 2. Make them play out of the back. Speaking of which, let's look at the youngsters. Didi Traore, 20 years old, staying at the left back position. Mauricio Cuevas, he's the one on the right side for Galaxy 2. And Jorge Hernandez in the middle. Carlos Harvey, Adam Saldana, they're going to anchor everything. But they, again, have three really talented ones up top as well. Kai Korenik on the left, Augustine Williams in the middle, and Cameron Dunbar on the right-hand side. The brilliance of this for Junior Gonzalez is they're multi-dimensional. All three can kind of rotate back across. Now, Augustine Williams likes to sit centrally, but all three of them have more than enough capability of challenging each and every part of the final third.
LA Galaxy 2 and RGV. Tori Penso overseeing things here from Edinburgh, Texas, as we end off the Western Conference play for this opening weekend. We're underway here. RGV Toros trying to get back to the playoffs after a few years away, while Los Dos, they made a run towards the end of the season to get there and lost in a play-in match against the Austin Bold. I'm Chris McCovic, alongside me Devin Kerr. See if we can get some fireworks going here to end off our Sunday here in the USL Championship. It starts with RGV and Castellanos. Out of play to the far side as RGV moves up the field. Toros back under Garrison Echeverri for yet another season, second full season. As notably some attacking power gone from RGV. Carlos Small, Michael Salazar. Salazar still in the Houston Dynamo organization, but he's been working off the bench for the Major League Soccer side, including an appearance in their loss to Sporting Kansas City this weekend. Out of play, final third now for RGV. Garza up the sideline, had 8 appearances last year. This ball worked in Rodriguez, and coming off his line and making the stop briefly, there is Lopez back the other way. RGV not able to find that touch in the box. Service in, knocked on and wide. There's Perpa, one of those new youngsters for RGV.
Can't ask for much more, can you here, Chris? Watch this ball whipped in. Lovely distribution by Coronado, puts it on a platter. Luca Perpa almost gets lost in translation. Not exactly sure what to do with it. Just outside the top of the 6-yard box. I love the way that they're able to track themselves back here. Even more so, they've got multiple options on the back post. You see Kevin Rodriguez laying and waiting as well.
Los Dos stuck in the back, and they lose the ball. Out of play, this early press for RGV. Getting some action done as will be Garza once again up from the right back spot to throw this in. 4th year with the organization. Maybe a long throw in into the box now. Perpa, Martinez, and they'll reset back to the top. Almost a foul from behind. They continue play to the left side. Martinez, the Brownsville native, playing his college soccer also at UT-RGV. Ahead, knocked on, a strike comes and another save. Lopez once more, 14 starts last year and getting things going early on.
Things are on the up and up, and it's for 2 of the youngsters as well. Luca Perpa on the first one from Coronado. This time it's Garrett McLaughlin. Really well done taking this out of the air. It's quite difficult to track it from this angle over the shoulder, catches the ball square. Quality save by Eric Lopez. This is what you want if you're Gerson Echeverry. Find a way to get on the front foot early on. Difficult place to play, go get him.
First corner, whipped in, knocked up and out of play. Lopez went down, but not needed there as the contact was enough to force it out. So already some high pressure up top for RGV. Now Los Dos, maybe some breathing room. Gave up the 5th most goals in the Western Conference last year at 62 in the regular season, and the 2-0 loss to Austin Bold in the play-in round. Down the right flank. The throw in for Los Dos, getting some breathing room. RGV a little bit too late in the schedule with the run they went on, unbeaten in their final 5 matches. As the cross comes in on a platter, but it's scooped out of the air by Blanchett. First time we get to see the former New York Cosmos keeper. Martinez building from the back left side. McLaughlin stuck in the corner looking for some help. Now Rodriguez towards the end line, service in. A strike for far out and off the post. Still alive and finally scooped up in the end by Lopez. Coronado with the strike from the top of the box.
Just think about all the players that are getting involved right now, Chris. And the way that this is moving side to side in such a fluid motion. Kevin Rodriguez over on the right, trying to pick out his early runners. He cannot find Perpa or McLaughlin. And look at the trailing one all the way on the back post by Coronado. Eric Lopez thanking his lucky stars right now that this isn't 1 or 2-0.
And a goal kick giving the ball back to RGV as they have brought the attack early on. Junior Gonzalez's first full season after leading LA Galaxy 2 to the playoffs. Of course, as Devin mentioned, familiar here in RGV. A few years ago was the head man.
They're staying true to their words as well. Gerson Echeverry, quality shape, flat across the middle right now. Nice little 4-4-2 and a team that, you know, hasn't really, in terms of overall shape, had a true identity over the years. And that can be a good thing and a bad thing. Anytime you come to Edinburgh, it's been quite difficult to get a result. Weather, travel, all of that. But the consistency in overall performances is something that they're obviously making sure that's the highest thing in terms of their priority list. And some of that rotation caused them issues like this.
Augustine Williams launches one, but off balance on the shot as Blanchett gave it right away.
Just negligence by the goalkeeper coming out, but when you've got your holding midfielder and Timo Melic dropping back in, just have to find a way to, number one, be more crisp. Distribution coming out of the back, but look at all the space right now. When you do decide to play that flat in the middle, you just have to amp it up a little bit, and this is the speed that I'm talking about up top.
McLaughlin giving it off the strike, another save forced out of Lopez, asking so much more from his back line.
Eric Lopez not happy, and if I'm RGV, I'm going to the corner quick, and I want to play. Don't let them have the opportunity to get organized. Cuevas on the right-hand side has got his hands full. And again, another delayed run. I really like the communication factor right now where Garrett McLaughlin goes out to the left-hand side. Lucatero just tucks in underneath. Both Lucatero and Kevin Rodriguez have the luxury of either employing their efforts on the left or the right.
Put in, Lopez Lopez is there, still alive, volleyed away. Second opportunity, almost a wonder goal there. Luca Terra, newcomer to RGV, nearly putting his name up there in a banner.
The youngster that he's definitely new in terms of this year's squad. And it's been a little bit of time since we've seen him, a guy who was made a Houston homegrown back in 2015. But to your point, coming back from the U20s and Necaxa, just that left foot of his, the right foot, he's got all the tools of the trade. The question is whether or not he can put them on display on a regular basis. That's why he's struggled to get into form over the years.
2016, 2017, 33 appearances for RGV. That goes out on the near side. They'll get back possession here 10 minutes in. For RGV last year, the performances at home, not really the problem. It was on the road with just 2 victories, but 9 victories at home. Looked like a playoff side at times last year in their home confines. The big problem that head coach Echeverry pointed to, unfortunately, the inconsistency in some of the squad pieces. Traore getting it back. Martinez, though, winning the interception. Offsides flag is up, and this will come back for RGV. So far in the first 11 minutes, Lostos only really getting the opportunity off of a miscue by Blanchett. Back to Adams, wearing the captain's armband here today. Left center back spot. Deflected, and this will be back to Lostos. Has to deal with this one and sends it on back to Blanchett. 25-year-old keeper. Ladanya giving it through the back. Galaxy 2, they have to try over the top. Adams is there, though, as the forward line cutting off many of the angles and the lanes they need to get out of the back. Purpa knocks it back over. Now it's going down, advantage played. Now Rodriguez. Ball falls for his teammate anyway. Purpa taking it on. A chip ball in, McLaughlin there, but so is Lopez. Yet another stop. A ball right back with RGV. Lopez having his hands full in his 38th start since 2016. Now getting it back, LA Galaxy 2. Hernandez now moving it left side and slotting it home. One chance, one goal, and Lostos on the board. Koreniuk getting it on there and opening his account after leading the charge in 2019.
Goal scored by number 28, Kenny Koreniuk.
10 teams last year, Chris, did not have double-digit goal scorers, and only 4 of those were able to make their way into the playoffs. Lostos was one of them, and they feel like this young man, Kai Koreniuk, bred from the depths of the youth programs of Holland, of OC and Vitesse, has the opportunity to bridge that gap and more. He doesn't miss many. Watch this, just the coolest customer that he could be. Tucks this in the bottom corner, can't blame Blanchett, comes off his line, gets all the angles right. but he's just got too much space out in front of him, and Koreniuk puts his boys out in front.
Had 9 goals last season, gets his first of 2020. And RGV, that's how soccer works. You're gonna have all the possession and then one counterattack and the opponent's up 1-0.
It's also how a team is built, and when you have youngsters of this nature that have a boatload of technical talent, maybe the physicality isn't necessarily there compared to the other squad, or the speed, you have to find a way to exploit them in another manner. And they've sat back, absorbed a lot of pressure. To be fair, it could be 1 or 2-0 RGV, but really well done in terms of their limited opportunities, execution on the other end. And Kai Koreniuk, just as cool as the other side of the pillow. Ball makes its way over, takes his time, doesn't get rattled whatsoever, and it's that disposition about him why people are so keen to say that he can make it at another level.
A few saves already for Lopez, keeping that goose egg on the scoreboard for RGV. As that's knocked on, and Lopez will take it back in. Westminster, California native. Williams couldn't get to that one. As it's scooped away, Castellanos. Possession in favor of RGV, but it's been mostly a counterattack approach so far for LA Galaxy 2. Castellanos back over to Adams. 26 starts last year for RGV. Now Garza stepping up. Over the top, but it's back to Lopez. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Goal scorer giving up the traffic, but losing it there. Select ball rolling back over to RGV as Adams will take it in the back. RGV pretty cool, calm, and collected despite giving up the early goal here at home. Now Garza down the right side. Not too many fireworks in the 2 meetings last year between these two sides. First matchup at LA, 7 goals beyond the 73rd minute combined between the two sides as that goes out. And funny enough, Galaxy 2 getting a result on a last-second goal in both matches. 1 point in each, a 4-4 draw and a 2-2 draw. As it is a corner kick for RGV, their second overall. As Rodriguez there, taking a moment.
I remember that game. Watching last year, I'd actually flipped over to another one and looked at the result later on and went, no, that can't be right. Good for them.
It's the whole thing of the fans leaving a bit too early, and then there's 7 goals beyond the 73rd.
Exactly.
Ball whipped in, headed up, still alive. A brief clearance here to the near side. It stays with RGV though, as they work back centrally. Garza, a saving tackle there, and a saving drag down, which may lead to a card. As Perpa it looks like Torre Penso, yes, is presenting it. So a welcome to USL Championship for Perpa. He's in the book.
Great job by the refereeing crew so far, just inside 20 minutes. A couple advantage plays, and this one, counter-attacking option for Los Dos. Jorge Hernandez venturing out from the inside, coming all the way back over. Luca Perpa recognizes all the real estate that he has to run into and just brings him down. Professional foul. Sometimes you have to make those decisions instead of leaving your team out to dry. Pull them down and just get back to it, reorganize, go the other direction.
Over the top, Williams is in there. He'll bring it down, takes a strike, but this goes the other way. It'd been a handball there. I mean, a foul like that, you have to give a yellow card every time. There's no way there's ever too early for that card, is there?
No, I mean, you'll have some referees a couple minutes in, but when it's got that sort of disposition, you have to find a way to really set a precedent for the rest of the players, right? You don't give one there, then you don't give the next one. The next thing you know, all the guys are policing themselves. And that's the last thing you want. You know, there's quality shape right now for RGV. Don't really have any concern in the overall depth in the midfield with the flat lines. The guys that likes Jorge Hernandez, Carlos Harvey, and Adam Saldana haven't necessarily found a way to combine their little triangle. Most of it's on the outside and trying to find their target man and Augustine Williams up top. It's allowing Isidro Martinez and Timo Melic to have a little fun and really make sure that that tempo that Jerson Echeverry kept talking to us about. He said he wanted a press, a repress when they didn't have the ball. And they're staying true to it. Look at the high line that they're playing. Everybody's pushing, making it very, very difficult to play out of the back. We spotlighted that in our lineups.
That falls short there, back to RGV. Melic, a great run there to keep it alive. Ball in, McLaughlin's there, and pass Lopez. Rodriguez back over McLaughlin. It spins wide off his head. This Los Dos defense just peppered with crosses here, 21 minutes in, yet to give up a goal. Martinez. Now Perpa. Through ball, McLaughlin on the run. Gets a deflection at least for a corner kick. Third corner of the match so far for RGV.
The good news is our players to watch are stepping up, aren't they? McLaughlin, I'll tell you what, he has put himself right place, right time. Lacking a bit of execution. There's also some quality goalkeeping going on in Eric Lopez. Redirect, this is hard to get enough power. Your body's drifting away. You have to bring it over your left shoulder. There's some English on the ball. He takes all that into account.
Headed away, Williams at the near post. Coronado. Now Perpa. And a goal kick for Lopez here, 22 minutes on.
You didn't see the score bug, you wouldn't know RGV is losing.
No.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing for Jerson Echeverry. He's going to be frustrated, of course. You can see a bit of anxiety just in his actions on the ground. And Junior Gonzalez, a bit more stoic. Doesn't necessarily see himself get rattled on a regular basis. Most of the emotion coming from him on the sideline is directed at the lucky few that have made their way onto the pitch. Wearing a white jersey.
Rodriguez winning the ball back. And here's Garza. Adams stepping up. Service to the left side now. McLaughlin coming back a bit and slides it on over to Martinez. Rodriguez. A stop there. Traore putting an end to that through ball. But not to the attack. It's a throw-in in the final third for RGV. Bawa sending it down the field. Other than the 1 goal allowed, quiet day so far for Blanchett. Playing the ball a bit too long, and it's intercepted. Koreniuk putting it, enough pressure on it at least, and out of play. It's a corner kick for LA Galaxy 2, and this is just what they did before. Putting some pressure on and causing the interception and making something out of it. Headed back over. Koreniuk trying to line up for the off balance, puts the cross on. Header is stopped in the end as Williams got a touch to it. Purple will get us going again. 2018 USL League 2 Young Player of the Year. A few good years with Chicago FC United and Marquette for his college play, and up and down the field so far early on.
He started with one of the youth programs that's the vein of my existence, Chicago Magic. Felt like every time growing up I turned my head, that team was sitting there waiting to knock me off my perch.
The Milwaukee native getting drafted by Houston, heading all the way south to Edinburgh, Texas.
You can see the talent for sure. You start reading his bio and taking a look at the tape, you can see why Swansea gave him an opportunity twice in the span of 3 years to go on trial.
Chip ball, but over the top a bit too much for Rodriguez. And he got there in time. It's a throw into Los Dos. Traore will take it. Frenchman, playing the last 2 years with LA Galaxy 2. Just 4 starts last year, though. It's back to RGV, throw in. Garza stepping up. Most appearances back in 2017 with 20. It's dwindled here and there since then as Melic goes down. Clean challenge, says Penso. Harvey knocks it ahead. They'll fall back to RGV though. Here's Adams. Flicked on, McLaughlin on the run. He'll get to it. And it's volleyed away. Not much there in terms of help at the time. Castellanos, the former LA Galaxy 2 player back in 2017. Sends it directly out of play, though, back to Los Dos.
The way that all this is playing out, Chris, these guys are just trying to find a bit of chemistry in terms of their overall performance. This is something where you can see the individual talent, and they've got some quality building blocks in place. It's just going to take a bit of time to put everything together. Preseason woes now funneling over into the first match where you're creating a lot of chances. Just that finished product escaping you on the tail end of things. If you're Jerson Echeverry, you've got to be happy. I understand the scoreline dictates something different, but your team is performing.
Bawa taking it in, the Ghanaian, 22 years old. Played in NCAA Division II and also in League 2 with FC Golden State Force. Chip over the top. McLaughlin would have been there, but it's cleared. Service back over. Missed opportunity on the volley, but finally clearing it. Now LA Galaxy 2 getting something going. 3v2 at the moment. Cutting back over, beautiful chance, and it goes in. Los Dos making the most of the counterattack. It's Dunbar, and 2-0 in the 30th.
Because of RGV's willingness to push the tempo and the pace, you're seeing Robert Coronado and Victor Garza play a much higher line than some outside backs in this league. What does that mean? The likes of Cameron Dunbar and Kai Korenik have the opportunity to run at the two center backs. Kyle Adams, a guy who over the past 2 seasons has been rewarded with the Dynamo contract, gets exploited. Watch him get turned around here. He's trying to push the attacker to the byline. Instead, it's the quick-footed Dunbar, who was just made a Galaxy homegrown this season for 2020. Cuts inside, has a boatload of room on the back post, and makes him pay. 30 minutes in, 2 goals on basically 2 shots. They have not had a lot of possession. RGV has had the better run of play, but it does not matter as this squad on the road is stunning the Toros.
LA Galaxy 2, about 4 shots so far, 2 on target. Both goals, and just defeating for RGV. 8 shots, so much time in the final third, and nothing has come of it. They'll try again here, but that one stopped again. Foul called, and it's over to Los Dos. There it is, 72% possession in favor of RGV, and that fits what we have seen. Mostly counterattack for LA Galaxy 2, and they have 2 goals because of it. Harvey over the top, down the right side. This will skip a bit too far for Dunbar. Native of Carson, California, 17 years old. He has a goal here in the USL Championship in 2020. No foul there. RGV trying to get some momentum back here at home. Foul called. This will come back as McLaughlin went down. So tell me, emotionally as a player, you face a situation, what's going through your head? Are you trying to change things up, or are you staying the course?
Just annoyed.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's difficult when you outplay a team beyond belief, and what are basically 2 minor mistakes, and they are. As a defender like Kyle Adams, your mistake there is you cannot, in any way, shape, and form, allow that ball to be cut inside. Your only job is to push him to the outside. Now, is there a possibility that you square your hips up too much and he beats you with speed? Yes, but I would much rather make a mistake where he's away from goal, or at least moving angularly away from goal, than when he cuts inside. The minute you come in, you open up a whole nother can of worms that causes a bunch of issues, which ended up in a goal. Right now, you stay the course, stay positive, work together. You know, this is some of the preseason woes that you're dealing with, and that's okay. They've created so many opportunities to be down in this situation. So just keep doing what you're doing.
See if they can find one of those opportunities in the back of the net here. Headed away though. Ford even had a chance really there in the box. Now Martinez.
The biggest thing there, Chris, is making sure that's coming from the sideline as well. It's one thing if the boys on the pitch are having a conversation with each other. It's another if Jerson Echeverry is having a different tune with the words that's coming out on his sideline talks.
Ball out of play and back over to Los Dos on the goal kick. USL Championship makes its regular season debut on ESPN Deportes Friday, March 27th. Two of the top contenders in the East meet as the Tampa Bay Rowdies host Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC. It's the championship on ESPN Deportes from Tampa Bay, Friday, March 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Back all the way to Lopez as Los Dos resets. They have two other matchups in the USL Championship today, both Eastern Conference battles. Adams resetting from the back. Charleston taking down Atlanta United 2 early on. And Charlotte going final with the win over SKC 2.
One of the craziest stats that I've seen come out of the league so far this year is Charlotte Independence. Their first road win last year came in October. It's a good start.
Foul the other way, and funny you mentioned that. I was, as you mentioned on the OKC broadcast yesterday, and Colorado Springs, they had one road victory last year. Do you know which week it was in?
Last week of the season?
Week 1.
Oh,
this
was in
year,
week 1?
They have the road victory again in week 1.
Yeah, things are going to be different out there and for the switchbacks.
Well, the thing is, how much do you read into week 1 with the momentum? Some of these results you mentioned, preseason jitters here, nerves, trying to work it together. So they had one road victory, looked great last year to start things off. Same thing this year. So we'll see where things go.
Yeah, you know, it's for most teams, it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, that's pretty much the basis that you're going to catch from most of the comments from the coaches. You know, okay, what's your reader going to be at? Oh, you know, I think we're going to get a real good idea of what we look like after 8 games, 9 games, 10 games. You kind of think to yourself and go, well, you're 30% of the way through the season at that point in time. They're right, though. You're dealing with fitness issues, getting everybody back up. Remember, some of these guys have only been in camp for a week or 10 days. And there are others that are pushing the likes of 4 weeks. But if you're RGV, for instance, or Los Dos, you don't get the luxury to play together on a regular basis. You've got academy kids coming in and out. Average age for Los Angeles Galaxy 2 on the pitch right now, just over 18. These are guys that are playing in DA games. They're getting repetitions and training with the first team in Galaxy. Same thing with RGV and Houston Dynamo. It's a difficult thing to replicate the product that you want when there are so many guys that are in and out.
McLaughlin holding the ball up, gives it off. Now Rodriguez goes down, no foul there. Bereniuk there making the stop. Ball back over the top. Williams on the run. A quick skip. He'll get to this one, but unfortunately takes it out. Goal kick back to Blanchett. Things opening up on the right side for Garza. Unhappy there with that ball. Back out, throw in RGV. Adams works it all the way back to Blanchett. Don't miss a minute of action in 2020. Sign up today and get alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for RGV and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Let's get reminders on RGV's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club today. Following this home match, RGV on the road the next 2 matches at San Diego on Saturday and then at Tulsa. That's the start of the middle of a 3-match week for them. So back at home later on against SLC. Ball in, headed away. A wishful shot from far out for Harvey, and it's a goal kick.
Do you follow anybody on the ESPN app?
Well, funny enough, I do work a lot with the Greenville Triumph.
Yep.
So I do follow them.
Okay.
Funny enough, I'm on OKC a lot, so I follow them.
Don't tell anybody that. You'll get yourself in trouble.
And of course, you know, I'm a Philly boy.
I made the mistake when I started using ESPN Plus all the time. I followed all the teams.
See, I know people that do that.
Yeah, that was a bad idea for me. My phone wouldn't stop with the notifications.
There's people that tell me that they do that, and I don't know how you handle the notifications of your phone constantly going off.
Why do you think my screen looks the way it does?
LA Galaxy 2 so far. The 2 goals, as you can see on the board, both counterattacks and really excellent finishes. RGV has flat out been dominating possession here in the first half. Medina puts it up and away, but again off target from well outside, not much building there. Garza, again that possession for RGV nearly 70%. Still at 8 shots, but Los Dos headed the other way. Trickled on through, and the flag is up. This comes back. Williams trying to tiptoe through there, but he was caught off sides.
Once again, the pace, Chris, is really what I'm keeping an eye on right here. Their ability to start to counterattack the other direction at such a high rate. Refereeing crew once again gets it wrong. Augustine Williams couldn't hold his run long enough. But great job by Jorge Hernandez stretching the game here. You can see once again the back line of RGV. Victor Garza was trying to make his way back in, but there was a load of room on the inside for the midfielder to have a little fun. And they've started to test the waters here a little bit. Keep an eye on Augustine Williams. He's starting to drift out and allow that attacking midfielder role of Jorge Hernandez to just tuck himself in between the 2 center backs. But every single time this team has looked dangerous, it's going 100 miles an hour, running downhill, trying to exploit the fact that RGV's chasing the other direction.
Now RGV back in possession. Final few minutes here in Edinburgh, Texas before halftime. Now Martinez. And that's cleared out of play. RGV back in the final third. At least trying to get some momentum here before the break.
One of the issues they've run into here is being quite predictable in their actions, to be honest. Their ability to play long up top and then try and get down into the wings. That suited them well in the opening 25, 30 minutes. But for the last 10, Chris, they've really stopped utilizing the boys in the middle of the field. Timo Melic and Isidro Martinez. Little touches here and there for sure, but that quality shape I was talking about earlier on has not suited them as much recently. Now you have to start to evolve where Timo starts to drop in, Isidro in front, create a diamond at times, Christian Lucatero was quite active on the left-hand side, cutting in and sort of overloading this midfield for Los Dos. We haven't seen that as much. And even when the likes of Garrett McLaughlin starts to drop back in, where's the run on the outside right now? You know, he's the only one occupying the space, and even now, there's all of this down in the corner here, but they're just not communicating as much as they were early on in this first half, and that's something that's going to definitely be a topic of conversation at halftime with Gerson Echeverry.
Throw in now down the field. Attempt by Williams at the bicycle kick. As Garza and the troops move ahead down the field. The player's down, and it's McLaughlin. He's going to be helped back up to his feet. Frustrating start here for the Toros on the opening match. McLaughlin crossed in, no one really there. Lucatero gets to it, but it's a catch there for the save by Lopez. And in the midst of all this, the two great finishes, Lopez a solid first 45, making a couple key saves in there. 1 minute of stoppage time here on the board in HEB Park. And Blanchett coming on over to scoop it in. Former Loyola Marymount keeper, two-time West Coast Conference goalkeeper of the year. Melich, Perpa towards the end line. Perpa still. Martinez strikes it on over. And the collision definitely not helping things.
Almost had too many options. Lovely triangular play. I love the patterns that we've seen out of RGV here in the first half, and we haven't exactly seen it the past 10 minutes, but this is much better ball movement. Right from the training ground, inside, outside, working your way down to the end, a little cutback. Unfortunately, Kevin Rodriguez and Isidro Martinez getting in each other's way, but that's some of the confidence you talked about, something to work on going into the dressing room at halftime. Gerson Echeverry can address it and say, guys, listen, we created some quality chances here. We have to make sure that when they start to counter going the other direction, we solidify things. But being down 2-0 right now, they got to hold their heads up high because there's a lot of positive talking points.
Dunbar, Koreniuk on the board for LA Galaxy. Not too many shots, but the counterattack has been working. RGV, so much possession, but yet to find a tally on the scoreboard. We'll be right back here shortly at HEB Park. 2-0 LA Galaxy 2 at the break, an opening weekend of the USL Championship.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
America. Less than 1% of our farmland is organic. And farmers who want to transition face monumental challenges. What if we could help them? Simply by having a beer. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold introduces 6 for 6-pack. Pick up a 6-pack, we'll help transition 6 square feet of farmland to organic. So imagine, all these riders go for a 6-pack. This can go organic. If everyone who moves like them gets one, all of this can turn organic. 6-pack, 6 square feet. And if every football fan picks up a 6-pack, we could change America's organic farmland forever.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. Customization is what we've always done. Yeah, mustard, mayo, ketchup, it's all up to you.
When you customize your own burger, you can put your personality in it.
Manny's ketchup, no cheese. This is my Whataburger.
We customize orders 24 hours a day.
Everybody wants it just like they like it. When you can make it your own, that always enhances that experience for you.
They're just happy to do whatever makes you happy.
However you want it, I got you. Here at Whataburger, we make it just like you like it, whenever you like it.
Welcome back here to HEB Park. Last matchup of the weekend in the Western Conference, so let's check out the action from the rest of the conference. So far in the opening weekend of the USL Championship, Tacoma and Reno back on Friday night. Tacoma getting the first tally, Devin, but Reno striking in the second half.
Rookie Jack Scahan coming out of the University of North Carolina, doing work early on. 56 minute, gets his first professional goal. Ian Russell has done some quality work with Reno 1868. We've heard that before. They put 3 in the back of the net. How about Cristiano Francois? He gets involved as well. A journeyman of sorts within the USL Championship. Watch him on the doorstep bury this in. That would be the final tally. I'll tell you what, you got to keep an eye on this squad and the rest. They have reloaded once again up top, a force to be reckoned with. 3 points on the road for Reno as we head on over to OKC as they battle with the Switchbacks, 2 really new-look squads here in 2020. It started, though, with Colorado Springs. Chris, you were on the call for this one and felt like maybe everybody was kind of dealing with the early season jitters. Weren't necessarily up to par. Good news is Christian Valesky was there. This is a guy who can be one of the best when he's at the top of his game. The problem is it's been a little incremental recently, and you got to find a way to get consistent confidence inside that young man. Good to see him put one in the back of the net for Alan Koch. They would actually get the 2-1 victory. Atiba Harris would get involved as well. This is his in the 58th minute. Watch this. Tuck that in the back of the net. Thank you very much. But again, Energy FC would go down 2-1. Tucker Stevenson, the assist there, but unfortunately an own goal to his name later on. And the Switchbacks and Alan Koch going home with 3 points in their opener. Austin and New Mexico, not too many highlights from this one. We jump to the 52nd where a PK would be awarded. And unfortunately for New Mexico, it was Tumasi winning it. One of the key question marks coming into this season for New Mexico United was what was going to happen with the acquisition of Kalen Ryden. Would Justin Schmidt sit on the bench or would he work his way into the 11? They pair him up together. Unfortunately, tracking back here, he gets it wrong. Going the other way, Austin gets it right. Marcelo Serrano's boys flying once again. Austin 3 points at home to open things up as we move on over to Phoenix, and let's say Phoenix doing what they do best, scoring goals throughout this one. Not 1, not 2, not 3. Rufat Dadashov had himself a night. The guy who came in to be the heir apparent to Adam John answered all of those answers and more. By the way, he did it in the first half. Hat trick in the first half for Phoenix Rising. They would actually put 6 in the back of the net against Timbers 2. Cameron Knowles is not going to be happy with the performance. They did have a 17-year-old making his debut in goal, but it didn't matter who was on the ball or how things were going to end up because no matter what, you knew the 2019 USL Championship MVP Solomon Asante would find a way to get involved. He'd find the back of the net as well. Phoenix Rising wins 6-1. 5-goal win there for Phoenix, trying to put together another historic season. And Devin, you were there. San Diego and Las Vegas had an exciting first 20 minutes. Expansion side, San Diego Loyal and Landon Donovan trying to set the pace early. Yeah, apologies. Junior Burgos, watch this. This kid gets it. Eric Ronaldo was talking to us about exactly how they were going to redefine their season going forward. He said, we have special players. They need special moments. They got that out of Junior Burgos, but watch Charlie Adams. Anything you can do, I can do better and then some. This first touch is astronomical. Watch him pluck this out of the air, 25 yards out, put it down on the ground, back of the net. Lola Delgado not happy. Neither coach is going to be super happy with the performance, but they'll be happy with the point sitting atop the Western Conference.
Point apiece, last matchup of Saturday night. It was Tulsa and Sacramento going at it.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people are going to look at this scoreline and go, wow, Tulsa able to get a point on the road. Behind the scenes, Mark Briggs takes over for Sacramento Republic after Simon Elliott departs. He had 3 of his 4 attackers go out the day before the match. They signed 3 academy products to supplement the roster, try and find a way to get it forward. They would get it through Drew Skrundrich in the 42nd minute, but there would be an answer. That man, a bad, bad man, Rodrigo da Costa, did beautiful things in 2019. Same story, different year. 79th minute, equalizer. That's how it would end. Good stuff for Tulsa on the road in their rebrand. FC Tulsa gets it to 1-1.
Perfection on the through ball as well. Tulsa on the road 1-1 in Papa Murphy's Park. Coming up, we'll take a look around the USL Championship as we get set for this new season here at the break in HEB Park.
Come on, come on. Nice and tight here. Bring it in tighter. Nice and tight.
Everything we do matters. Very few people in the world ever get an opportunity like this.
We talked about making history, right? And what are you going to do to change history? When it's your turn to make a tackle, are you going to make that tackle? Are you going to score the goal? Are you going to make the save and throw a few miracles for us? Grab your freaking moments. That's my point.
Huge credit to every one of you. Massive performance coming on, the way that you press, and please for every one of you.
This is an awesome time, and we're going to show them that we're for real. We are for real because we all believe in each other, right? This is our moment. This is our moment to shine.
Every single day, guys, we have to fight to create our identity.
Take your moment within the games and make them your moments. Let's go out there and kick. Come on. Go. 1, 2, 3.
Wow, what a job he is doing. Leo Fernandez tries to shake it up. Bender Johnson trying to cross one in. Still alive in the box and scored!
Forbes turning on the speed pair.
Hey guys, how's it going? Kelsey Steele, Scott Stewart here from USL HQ in beautiful Tampa, Florida. How better to get this season going than laying out our top signings
to get a more advanced position on the field.
Sit in. It's Jimmy Oxford!
Himself from attacking the back four, gets that chance to bury it. That gives Earl Edwards Jr. absolutely no chance. Why? Because it's in the top corner. You're never going to have a chance. It's over the wall. It's the perfect.
Popped up more with the left. Oh! More with the second goal. He now has a brace.
Look at the touch there. That's Soler. Great ball over the top by Wehan. And then how about the shot here?
Welcome back here to HEB Park. 2-0 in favor of Los Dos at the break. Checking out news and notes from around the USL Championship. Of course, recently the USL app launching, so check that one out on the Google Play and Apple App Store. But Tim Howard back in soccer. Kicked things off with Memphis 901 FC on the field yesterday.
And good to see that main man back. Unfortunately, didn't exactly go the way he thought it would. We're out in front, but Indy 11 and Martin Rennie would come back for a 4-2 victory on the road. 10th anniversary. 10 years. Here, I thought it was the 3rd year. USL Championship. Who would have knew?
Feeling old with that one, or?
No, not old. Seasoned is what we're going with now.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll learn.
Seasoned.
You'll learn.
2-0 Los Dos at the break. RGV trying to bounce back with some of those chances again in the second half. Kick coming up next.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together,
than 1% of our farmland is organic. And farmers who want to transition face monumental challenges. What if we could help them? Simply by having a beer. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold introduces 6 for 6-pack. Pick up a 6-pack, we'll help transition 6 square feet of farmland to organic. So imagine, all these riders go for a 6-pack. This can go organic. If everyone who moves like them gets one, all of this can turn organic. 6-pack, 6 square feet. And if every football fan picks up a 6-pack, we could change America's organic farmland forever.
So you got Bud Light?
Back there.
Bud Light made a seltzer?
Wait, Bud Light made a seltzer?
I wonder what it tastes like.
Only one way to find out.
What are the taste buds saying?
Tastes great. No Bud Light, just hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Light and refreshing. It says light and refreshing.
Let's get that instead.
Wait. Post Malone doesn't drink seltzer. We drink Bud Light. Everybody knows that.
Why not try something new? Bud Light. Seltzer. Bud Light. Seltzer.
Bud Light.
Well, season 1 was much better than season 2.
Guys, we're incredibly rich. Let's get both.
I'll get both. You got any pretzels?
Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
Welcome back here into HEB Park. Los Dos on top, 2-0 at the break. But Devin, it was RGV that really got things going early on in our first half. Highlights, and really the first 3 minutes was all they needed for a goal. They just couldn't find one.
Wouldn't take long. You're right, partner. In minute number 2, again, I was really impressed by the ability to work from the outside in, especially in the opening 15-20 minutes. They did a good job getting the ball to guys like Christian Lucatero, Kevin Rodriguez. Luca Purpa had an opportunity, just couldn't stick it in the back of the net. But the 2 guys we said, look at Purpa, look at McLaughlin. How many did they get in the opening 10? 3-4 chances between the 2 of them. Basically minute 2, minute 4, minute 6. And then from there, you know, Lady Luck started to stick her head out a little bit. We saw the post. There was a little bit of on the backside of things. Eric Lopez did wondrous things in the opening 15 to give his team an opportunity to stay in this match, and that's exactly what they did. Jorge Hernandez, quick little turnover. This is eerily reminiscent of what you're going to see out of Los Angeles Galaxy and their movement going the other direction. Dennis Ciclosa said, we want to play quick, we want to play in transition. You get all of that, and of course, you get Kai Koreniuk in his first goal of the 2020 campaign.
Tied for the goal-scoring lead in 2019, and they weren't done there. Again, the counterattack, and it's Dunbar.
Watch these guys. You give him a homegrown contract for a reason, right? Now, this is really impressive by the youngster. Again, 17 years of age. Average age by these young men right now is 18, but the back line has to be better. Kyle Adams is too smart and too athletic, to be honest. He can turn his hips. He can make all of the right moves. He just gets that one wrong. And, you know, 2-0, there's a lot of work to be done in the second 45 minutes. You have to be impressed if you're Junior Gonzalez with the limited opportunities to be calculated once you did move into the final third. But if the tempo continues like this, you have to imagine RGV are eventually going to find the back of the net.
And you said it in the first half, if you showed someone this match without showing them the scoreline, and really they would think RGV was winning this with the possession and the amount of chances, but just hasn't fallen their way, and that's the way the beautiful game works sometimes, where 2 counterattacks, 2 goals for Los Dos, and it's a 2-0 lead for the away side here in HEB Park. Again, I'm Chris Bukovic, alongside me, Devin Kerr here this Sunday evening. Thank you for joining us on ESPN+. Now it's Los Dos moving from left to right. RGV in the orange and white from right to left in front of us. Williams. And some well-timed runs to end off that first half. See what he can bring here in the second 45. On the right flank, here's Dunbar, the second goal scorer. He goes down, but a clean challenge, winning the ball. So tactically, if you're the Toros, are you changing anything up out here, new looks against your opponent, or are we keeping it the same?
My biggest concern going into the dressing room was some of the depth that we talked about in midfield, where Timo Melic and Cedro Martinez became a get flat when it came to trying to challenge the midfield three of Harvey, Hernandez, and Saldana out of Los Dos. And there's a time and place for everything, right? It's okay to create those clean lines, which they were so good at in the first half, but final 15 minutes, that trio started to find a way where you could start to back shoulder everybody. You create more opportunities just like that right there, where when you don't have proper spacing between the two, one just steps up, the other two drop back in, and you create this triangle. Now, they don't play three in the midfield for RGV, but that's simple enough. Luka Perpa can drop back in, help you out a little bit, or you create depth within the two players themselves, as Cedro Martinez, Timo Melic. You make the team go side to side instead of bypassing the initial line of threat.
Martinez back the other way, back here by McLaughlin, but a huge stop, no trickling in, was it over the line? No goal, says the assistant referee. It looked like very close, to say the least, as Lopez reached to grab it. So close to a first tally for RGV. You can hear the fans appealing, the headman.
Chris, this does not get any closer. Watch this ball. You take it. No, it's your turn. How about the ball coming back over? Oh, that's a close one. That is really, really close. Isaac Boa, the left center back. Unfortunate. Redirected it in behind Eric Lopez. Without VAR, you're unsure.
Unlucky again as RGV, as the clearance comes, no offsides, and it's back to Los Dos. The Bluebirds flying here in HEB Park. Remember that one, to say the least, says Echeverri.
Let's run it back. Eric Lopez, does he get there? I'll tell you what, from this angle, it's really difficult to tell. Now, you can see green, but the ball can be up off the ground. Daylight for sure, but the angle game, unless you come more horizontal, you cannot definitively say that it is fully crossed the line. You got to give the benefit of the doubt to the officiating crew. They've been stellar all night long so far.
There's bad luck so far for RGV, off the post in the first half and now off the line. As Lopez again having to come to the rescue for Los Dos. Well, the fans needed some energy, down 2-0. That was it. Momentum now for RGV.
You think that ball's in?
I saw green.
Ball can come up off the ground, you see green.
Back post, but Lopez, again, a stellar night, 50 minutes in. Dunbar trying to pounce on the moment. Melic all the way back to at least stymie the attack. And it's out of play. And so far in this match, as soon as RGV gets some momentum, a great chance. Los Dos are right back down the other way, scoring a goal. We'll see what they can do here. Dunbar, the strike, and just wide side netting. We'll take another look here at the discrepancy, to say the least.
Now I'm with you. I see green right now as well. The question is if I pivot this camera to a goalpost cam, am I seeing green because the ball's come up a little bit, or is it officially over the end line? That's my issue right here. If I have to bet, I'm calling it a goal. The problem is I don't have that luxury. We're both sitting looking at the same exact angle that the head referee was. They're going with what the linesman saw on the far side of the field.
And you're assuming a lot of things, and I say green based on the way the ball was spinning, not much height, not much bounce.
Yeah. And what do we talk? Never assume.
Assuming.
Yeah, never assume.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
one of the biggest issues you have to run into. And
McLaughlin overrunning that a bit. Dunbar now back on top. So all RGV can hope now is that is foreshadowing things to come in terms of goals, maybe. Martinez knocks that out. Traore, quick throw in. We'll have to reset for this. Cutting through left side of the box, end line cuts back over off balance, knocked away. Would have at least given a shot or an opportunity at that back post.
What do you have to do, right? You're RGV player.
Well, that's the thing. It's all a mental game now at this point in this. Nothing can go right, but they still have tons of time to get back in this.
A lot of times when you run into these matches, Chris, as a player, I've been on the receiving end of this where not in a 2-0 situation, but you're creating chance after chance and nothing's finding the back of the net. You're playing the other team off the park. Now, Los Dos isn't exactly being pushed into a corner. They're starting to counterpunch a little bit. But you have to be so frustrated for the fact that you have produced so much and yet nothing has come about.
Dunbar knocks it over. Is there another on board? There is. Williams adds one more. A third counterattack, a third goal. And it's 3-0. Los Dos, 53 in.
Where does this thing start, by the way? Cameron Dunbar, I am all in on this young man, 17 years of age. He has shown you that he can put it in the back of the net on his own, but the runs that he's producing as well, peeling off of his shoulder, down into the corner, great change of pace, gets in behind Robert Coronado and puts this right across. Sometimes all you have to do is put it in the danger area. Augustine Williams, we said that central location is where he is most effective. He had yet to poke his head out to fully get involved in the attack. But lucky number 3 is oh so sweet for Junior Gonzalez and his boys on the road.
7 goals last season, finds his first here in 2020. And it's the third of the day for LA Galaxy 2. And you mentioned it, Dunbar, does the service get any better than that? Well timed on the curl and on a platter for his forward. Here they come again in the white kit. Service in, and Adams alongside Blanchett will pick it up. Dunbar winning it back. The 2 matchups last year, it was Los Dos making the comeback late on. Now it has to be RGV if they want to do so here today. 56 minutes in. Martinez keeps it alive. Up ahead off the head of McLaughlin, but too heavy of a touch. McLaughlin has looked good at times. Of course, the former SMU forward. 37 goals there. And there will be a substitution now for LA Galaxy 2. Perez, the 17-year-old, coming on. Coming off is Jorge Hernandez.
It's a quality shift for that young man. Again, I've been really impressed by this team's ability to grow into the game, and especially young kids at home, you don't have to have the ball and maintain a lot of possession to be successful. They have been so efficient when they've gone forward. Sat back, been calculated. Yes, I have to give A bit of advantage to RGV in the fact that they have created a lot, but in the second half, it's been a totally different story. There's the chance early on. Was it a goal or not? We'll never know. Hard done or not, you still got to play on in this game, and at no point in time has Los Dos put their heads down. They just keep fighting back.
Good run by Williams, but Blanchett off his line, and he'll sky it down the field. They'll try out the left flank. Traore seeing something, puts it ahead. Williams will get there. Pass intercepted, it's back to Adams. Auckland native, putting his keeper in a tough spot, but he gets it away. And here comes some energy off the bench for RGV. Beckford will come on loan for another season from Montego Bay United. Saw 9 appearances towards the end of last season and was able to put up a goal. Off comes Kevin Rodriguez, like-for-like switch towards the top. Shot from outside. He wanted the deflection. Williams will get it. It's a corner kick. I mean, at this point with the situation, the best opportunity for Echeverri really is to get some new energy, new ideas out there, and of course, new confidence maybe.
One of the issues that you ran into with Lucatero and Rodriguez was the fact that maybe they weren't flip-flopping. Again, I talked about being pretty predictable in their actions. Moving outside, moving to the boys in, and not enough as the game has gone on. With Rodriguez isolated out on that right wing, you had to find a way to not only get fresh legs in there, but new ideas, and that's exactly where he's going.
Service in, headed away. Perez getting his first touches. Good service in. And finds an orange head though. And Beckford getting his first touch. Martinez. Through ball, but a bit too far as Lopez comes off his line to scoop it up. Goreniuk, some lanes developing in front of him. He'll take it himself, but slides the ball out of play. Scored the first goal this evening. After tying for the team lead last season. Now Harvey. Get back the other way, and a free corner given up by RGV. Los Dos back, knocking on the door. Ball sent in, towards the back post, finally cleared. Open net for a moment. Lucatero looking downfield, service ahead, Beckford on the run. Can't get there. Throw in for Los Dos in their own end. Lostos in control, getting things going again on the near side. Melic, the interception. McLaughlin chipped over, headed on. And you can see what they were trying. McLaughlin a secondary run, but it's scooped in by Lopez. Purpa, through ball right side, too heavy though. Lucatero barely keeping it in play. Beckford and McLaughlin couldn't get there. LA Galaxy 2, do they have another? Perez all the way towards the box. Stopped by Adams, still alive. Scooped over, headed far side, Williams puts it wide.
You would think Jorge Hernandez has never left the pitch considering the way that Jonathan Perez is playing. Tale of two halves here for sure for Lostos and RGV as they start to take over this match. Perez going the other direction. This really is a game of inches. Watch him keep this on the end line. Well done to keep the play alive. Unfortunately, just escapes Kai Koreniuk on the back post. And how about on the other end? Quality buildup between RGV and their midfield players going forward. Luca Purpa just couldn't get that weighted ball. And that's kind of where it's been. It's just much like the first half, that bit of execution lacking here and there. Jerson Echeverry is going to have a lot of frustration when he goes back and watches this game. So many chances they've been able to create. But again, the overall execution just that much better from the visitors.
They've had far fewer chances and nearly, as you mentioned, everything's been perfect. RGV, it's been too heavy of a touch here and there, or a through ball too long. Purpa, quick turn advantage is played. Now McLaughlin, a good run. And a drag down from behind, just frustration there for Lucatero.
As this match goes on, Chris, they keep putting themselves in pretty bad situations. You can understand they're trying to force the issue a little bit here. And they're overextending themselves. That's why you're seeing when Lostos starts to attack going the other direction, 10, 15 yards wide open in the middle of the field. Get guys like Adam Saldana, Carlos Harvey, just a quick little tackle, and then they go the other way. That impressive shape that we saw out of RGV in the opening 45 minutes, just not as impressive right now. And what they're trying to do is, as they get into the final third, wasting a lot of energy, you turn around, and it's easy for the opposition to exploit.
Lostos mostly counterattack in the first half, really taking control in the second half, as you can see here.
Case in point, right? Exactly what we were just talking about. The difference is Galaxy 2 was able to create some chances, especially more impressive ones compared to what we've seen out of the Toros. Galaxy being effective in the first, getting their lead, and now just the opportunity. This is where when you start to play a style like this, you can dance on the ball a little bit more and you make the opposition chase.
Beckford gets it poked away, running into four white kits. Dunbar goes down and there's a foul going against Coronado. USL Championship makes its regular season debut on ESPN Deportes Friday, March 27th. Two of the top contenders in the East meet as the Tampa Bay Rowdies host Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC. It's the championship on ESPN Deportes from Tampa Bay, Friday, March 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, another great lane here. Koreniuk into the box, left side, slots it in. Make it 4 and a brace for the goal-scoring leader last season. Lostos off and running.
All the goals he was able to bag last year. He had 3 games where he went double digits as well. They come in droves for this young man, and again, watch his ability to read the play. He starts this all off, drops back in, here comes the possession. Perez, we mentioned, seamless in transition when Jorge Hernandez went to the sideline, put it out in front, and let the playmaker go get it. Really similar, to be honest, to what you saw in the first goal. Ball down into the channel. The entire back line has just been spread out. Paul Blanchett can't believe it. You would think that based upon the scoreline, he is having a nightmare, but it's not his fault. He's been hung out to dry time and time again. And speaking of again, Kai Koreniuk gets his second of the night.
What a way to start. 9 goals last season, already 2 here in 2020. Some lanes opening up for the Toros. Purpa. Lucatero over the top, but the only receiver there is Lopez. High press coming for RGV. Get out of there, though, on the left side. Dunbar. And behind Koreniuk. Here comes substitution from the sideline as things shake up as we get later in the match, and it will be Obregon coming on, another offensive threat for RGV. Only 4 appearances last year, did tally a goal and an assist. Someone that the Honduran U23 national team does have an eye on for the upcoming Olympic tournament.
Was another one of the guys, Chris, at the end of the year that started to get a few looks, and that relationship unofficially with Necaxa Youth, Carlos Obregon Jr. And now you're just looking, if you're Gerson Echeverry, something to build on. Quality opening first half, a lot of opportunities. You still go down thinking, okay, maybe we can get this right in the second. That's not the case.
Melic through ball, well timed and flicked away. Bauer with a great stop there. Obregon nearly his first touch of goal.
Some of the athleticism I was talking about that was lacking out of Kyle Adams. Watch Bauer on the recovery here. He definitely gets turned around. Traore is not tucked in close enough, but that first step, beautiful turn over the left shoulder, and then he goes to ground. As a center back, if you're going to go to ground, you have to get it right. Really well done by Isaac Bauer.
Purpa sending it in near post. Williams the header away. Back in, Coronado keeps it alive. Obregon, right boot fires. Mishap there for Lopez, but does make the save. Coronado back the other way. Here's Melic. Coronado down the left wing, cuts inside. Didn't find much there as Los Dos get back possession. Williams on the run. He has one already today. And at least forces possession up the field with the throw-in. Another substitution on the near sideline. McHugh coming on in place of Garza. McHugh, the player of Sweden, 19 years old, and a homegrown signing for Houston back in 2018. Just 3 appearances, 2 starts last year for RGV. Perez coming off the bench as a sub has shown well. Traore. They'll get it back over left wing. And an early stop for McHugh. Throw in along the end line and the deflection. It's a corner kick. And now Koreniuk down. But right back up, luckily. Varela getting set to come on. Another youngster here for Los Dos at 18 years old. In for Harvey. Panamanian on season-long loan.
He was the young man who played the first ball in. Opening goal 13 minutes into Kai Koreniuk. So the front three needed to be perfect. Well, I'll take all 6 of those boys have had a little fun tonight.
Castellanos. Clearance, and then the ball clearing itself out of play. Goal kick here in the 73rd.
Kai Koreniuk, Augustine Williams, Cameron Dunbar, they had everything to talk about, both going into the dressing room and coming out at the start of the second half. Jorge Hernandez, we talked about the positive exploits that have gone on in the middle of the field for Junior Gonzalez this evening. Jonathan Perez has replicated the same sentiments. Carlos Harvey just stepping aside. Adam Saldana. I mean, honestly, the performance overall has been great, yet alone the fact that, again, average age just 18 years of age. The Galaxy 2, their academy, have never been slouches for talent, that's for sure, and they've gotten performances globally as well. And you can see why all of that great coaching that they've been able to put in is regularly funding through their system. Struggling in 2017 and 2018, turning around in 19. Of course, the coaching change we talked about, Mike Munoz to Junior Gonzalez. Gonzalez coming over from RGV in 17, gets him in that not spot in the West, and they're just continuing this progression of building on the quality talent and results, and what a way to start it off.
Up 4-0 here, 75 minutes in. And just frustration setting in for Echeverri and his side.
Conversely, Chris, you look at the other side of things with RGV and the direction that he's trying to take this club. 15 minutes to go, down 4-0. I'm not a betting man, but I would guess the game's probably put to bed.
Well, I mean, I mentioned it before, 2 matchups last year, late goals. The first matchup, 4-4 draw. 7 goals came after the 73rd minute, so we shall see.
Yeah, anything's possible between these guys. If you look at recent history, right? They're hoping that if you're Junior Gonzalez, that's ancient history. You know, this squad in 2016 playoff team put some quality numbers on the field in their inaugural campaign, but they had a similar squad that year to this year. Guys that were being loaned down from Houston Dynamo, didn't have an academy set up in terms of their relationship yet.
Dunbar at the box, right side, it's cleared away.
And I'm obviously referencing RGV. Of course, Houston were still there. But you had guys like Kevin Garcia, Jorginho James, Charlie Ward, Eric Bird, of course, Todd Wharton, Kai Green. Some of those guys have obviously moved on. Some got chances with the Dynamo. But the past 2 seasons before that, they stepped away from it. They started the RGV Academy. You had a blend, coaching changes in and out, and it's really difficult to create a constant in a scenario such as that. In steps Tab Ramos, the new regime. They feel like they have a positive direction, and you do. Go back and look at the opening 45 minutes. This was a quality performance up until halftime, and you start to take chances. That's why you end up down 4-0.
Obregon, right side of the box, keeps it alive. Cuts it back, looking for a teammate, finds one, Melic! And another save by Lopez. Beckford puts it wide. And a deflection, it's a corner kick.
So you take what you've been able to do and you build on it. Substitute or not, one of the starters up top, I don't care. You gotta find a way to put some building blocks together. Timo Melic is the one who unleashes at the tail end of this on Eric Lopez. What a save, by the way. He has had some kind of night.
Back post put down, and Lopez right there. You can't make it up. His right paw sitting right where the shot was headed. And it's still nothing on the scoreboard for RGV.
How many guys are challenging this ball as well? 3 different players willing to go up and win this in the air. You sort of hope that maybe one of them peels off and follows up on the rebound. That has not been the case, and for everything that has gone right for the Galaxy on one end of the field, Eric Lopez has backed them up on the other.
Free kick now. Chances coming for RGV last few minutes. You see here on the replay just a pack of orange rising on the far side.
You've literally got 3 players. You've got Castellanos, Kyle Adams, and then one of your substitutes in Deshane Beckford coming in, who whipped the ball in, and Juan Carlos. Obregon Jr. going after the header. Got a little fight in him. That's good. Down 4-0, still showing some spirit.
Funny thing there is, I have to assume maybe them colliding into each other caused the shot to misdirect, and then right at Lopez. They'll have another chance here to get on the scoreboard though. Free kick in, back post, hit it back over. And it's Williams that will clear it. Open room to run. Koreniuk, can he find the hat trick? He's brought down. And no call there. Back to Blanchett. Adams swinging it right side. Beckford on the run, cuts it back over. Stopped and no second runner there, it's cleared. Now Williams keeps his run going. Perez again up there. Coronado taking that one, and deflects and stays in play. Obregon trying to keep it up, but lost possession. Ontiveros is down for LA Galaxy 2. A heavy, heavy collision there with Coronado.
He's in a lot of pain here. He had a pretty serious knee injury in the past. Young man that was actually signed by Junior Gonzalez while the head coach at RGV, a local tryout. Kind of a local boy makes good. Had been over in Luxembourg for 2 seasons prior to his acquisition with the Toros. He's done really well next to Isaac Bawa this evening. Just test him out, check the range of motion. And it's good that he's up and back at it right away. Wearing the captain's armband, he's earned it. How about the sportsmanship by Coronado too, coming back over, checking on him.
They're trying to clear it there, went right into Coronado. Somehow that ball stayed in play as well. They'll have to come off briefly with the trainer on. Now let's take a moment and see if Koreniuk was denied a hat trick.
What a tackle. That's your left back, by the way. Again, Robert Coronado, who just tangled up with Omar Ontiveros on this near touchline. 40-yard run going the other direction, down 4-0. I know plenty of players who would have just thrown in the towel. Quality perseverance by the California native.
Gutierrez on for the goal scorer and assister in Dunbar. Gutierrez, the Norwalk, California native. Martinez. Numbers really pushing up now for RGV with just 9 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Over the top, here's Williams. McHugh. That stayed in play and then went out. Head down the right side is stopped by Coronado. And it's a corner kick again for Los Dos. Cuevas moving down the right side and pushing the tempo. Here's Perez. Cuevas puts it in, fisted away by Blanchett. Almost went down. Gutierrez works it back over. Traore. Williams. Headed on by Perez, but it's up and over the crossbar.
Chris, to give you an idea of how rare this is, what you're seeing, by the way. HEB Park, Edinburgh, Texas, is a very difficult place to play as we get another costly turnover by the Toros in the middle of the field. This is the 66th match and only the 9th time they've given up 2 goals. I'll take it a step further. It's only the 3rd time that they've given up 3 or more. They gave up 3 against OKC in 2016, 4 against them in 2018, and now 4 tonight. I tell you, this is just something that never happens out here in Edinburgh, Texas. So kudos, number 1, to Junior Gonzalez and his crew for coming in. But an area that they take such pride in defensively that really just hasn't gone their way tonight. Some nights, you know, they say the magic's not there. This is one of them.
Yeah, and a team that we talked about really did a great job at home. They would have been a playoff team if they replicated some of that on the road last year. They late run there potentially towards the playoffs and just too little too late. But now today, LA Galaxy 2 going in there and really where dreams come to die in the USL at times last year.
One of my most favorite things that I've ever heard in this league. And you're spot on, though, with the road record. The amount of talent that they have and what they've been capable to do at home. Now you just got to find a way to replicate that away, right? You only won 3 games on the road in 2018, only 5 in 2019. So conversely, as difficult as it's been to come in here and get a point, Los Dos going to be able to do that. And if you're Echeverry, now you just got to turn it around. Find a way to take a look around the corner. You have San Diego Loyal at Tulsa, Real Monarchs, Sacramento, OKC. The next 2 are doable, and regardless of what went on with Tulsa and Sacramento last night. That was a half-strength Sacramento Republic team.
Chipped in Martinez. Open look, Obregon over, and there's one for RGV. That's Popa getting his first with RGV, but he's down. Collision with the right post. And we'll take another look at it here. One back late on, but Obregon here setting it up.
They go a different direction. Isidro Martinez, lovely ball to the back post. And there is Obregon Jr., who just redirects it across the middle. This is really well done. And for all the set pieces we've seen out of RGV, they've pretty much been quite linear in their thought process, meaning they're going from point A to point B. They haven't combined multiple units in or around the box. This time all 3 players get involved. Luca Perpa, well done, just allowing this to develop. He trusts the process, and that's what this team has to do going forward. Comes back across the 6. Eric Lopez has had himself a night, but RGV finally get on the board.
First of the season here in 2020, and it's Luca Perpa. 2nd round draft pick by the Houston Dynamo. Scored 18 through his college career with Marquette, and has his first now as a pro in USL Championship. Still 3 more to go potentially for RGV. They'll get it back right here. Perez, upended, fouls called, edge of the box. Lostos back in business.
Both Roberto Castellanos and Kyle Adams don't want to forget this evening. Has not been the best for the center back pairings. Kyle Adams turned around a few times. Castellanos that time leaving his feet a bit early, and even if he wins the tackle, he's got a lot of work to do with the trailing runs in front of him. I would love to see the metrics that are being measured right now for those young men in the white jerseys. They have put in a lot of leg effort end to end on their stuff, especially the first half where they had to sit and counter so many times. They've had the luxury in possession here in the second, and now with just inside of 3 minutes to go, Jonathan Perez maybe have a little fun from a set piece opportunity. It's when everybody lines up, right? Up 4-1. My turn. No, you hit it.
Confidence blooming here for LA Galaxy 2. Shot coming, and it's 5. Cuevas puts it in. Over the wall. And Lostos off and running here in 2020, to say the least.
I've been to Carson, California. I've actually trained in their facilities multiple times. And some of the guys who have that luxury, national team players like this, U17 to be specific, Mauricio Cuevas, gives you an idea of where the talent in this country is as he just flips this up over the top of this wall. 3, 4, 5, 6. You could put 8 guys in this thing and it wouldn't matter. The talent level on full display for Junior Gonzalez and his band of banditos, young or not, they have put on a fantastic exposition.
I mean, at halftime we were joking about Phoenix Rising owning the offensive threat this weekend. LA Galaxy 2 has put up 5 goals on the road.
Just now add another one to the record books where you put a 5 spot up on RGV. We said it was only 9th time they've given up 2 or more. You go to 3, it's only 3 times. You go to 4, it's only twice. Well, now it's once. Only 1 time has this team ever given up 5. And you go back through a team's history over 5 years, you think, okay, well, they had to have done it more than once, right? That's crazy, especially given this environment. You talk to any coach, especially when there was interleague play, Eastern or Western Conference, it is so difficult to come here and get a single point, yet alone get 3.
Anybody that looks at the scoreline too will say, oh, RGV just blown out of the water. But the first 45, that was not the case.
Yeah, and the second half has definitely been different. There were chances. Unfortunately, it was just too touch and go. And every single time you felt like, okay, maybe they're getting back into this. Guys like Kai Koreniuk, DJ Traore with his long run on the side to help stretch the game a little bit. Cuevas from a set piece opportunity. Augustine Williams solidifying himself in the middle up top. And honestly, everybody who has been on the field for Los Angeles Galaxy 2 tonight, pat on the back, golf clap, whatever you want to say, they've been great.
4 minutes of stoppage time here at HEB Park. Lostos got to the playoffs in 2019 and certainly making their case here on day 1. Koreniuk nearly breaking away from that. He has a brace here today. They're up 5-1, and after this, only gets better. They're at home for 3 straight. Beckford showing off the moves, but it's quelled quickly and skied. Closer to Galveston than anywhere else.
If that goes in, I'm out of here. The way the night is gone, that's a mic drop for sure.
There's a magnet in the goal or something.
Yeah, I mean, everything these guys have tried to do, and they've got someone down in the corner, unfortunately. You go back to that home stretch that they're dealing with, Chris. I don't want to say that RGV has the luxury of an easier schedule. But the way that it's played out, yes, Los Dos is at home. You got to deal with Austin, Marcelo Serrano's team, who took Phoenix Rising to the end last year. Sacramento Republic, Mark Briggs is hoping that, come 2 weeks from now, he'll have a couple of his pieces back. The revamped Colorado Springs under Alan Koch. And then Western Conference finalists and Mark Lehrer, El Paso Locomotive. Let's keep going. At New Mexico United, home against Reno. That's a difficult start. So to give yourself the opportunity to go back, look at the tape and say, guys, we did it on the road. We did it in a hostile environment. It's humid, it's hot, but we showed that we can do it. Now let's keep going. Let's keep this train going. Let's take down anybody that comes into our house. Then you go on the road and prove yourself again.
Williams getting back up on to his feet, and we talked about earlier the mental game, giving up 2 goals like that for RGV early on in this match. We talked about the confidence, the mental game for LA Galaxy 2, and they're going to be feeling like they're on top of the world after this one. They'll at least be on top of the table for 1 week with the 3 points.
How funny is that, by the way? If you actually think about it, if we want to get specific, you go on the road, win your first game of the season 5-1, and you're not even atop the Western Conference. Shame. Shame on you. Shame on you, Phoenix Rising.
RGV, maybe one last effort here to get a second on the board. Take some momentum into their road contest at San Diego next week. That ball skied away, and Lopez will take it in. One goal allowed for Lopez. Other than that, he's been standing on his head, especially in the first half. This one in. And the head of his defender helping things out. That was Williams. Rough opening night, to say the least, for the Toros. But learning a lot about the talent pool that LA Galaxy 2 has this year.
This happens, right, Chris? You get into a situation where if you're RGV, you have, what, say 3-4 quality opportunities open 35 minutes, and you can't put any in the back of the net. When you don't jump on a team that has this type of talent early enough, it'll come back to bite you. And you felt like, okay, maybe you get into the dressing room, we're down 2-0, let's regroup if you're Jerson Echeverry's boys and get back to it. But that wasn't the case. Junior Gonzalez had other ideas. His squad puts up a 5 spot in Edinburgh, Texas. Hats off to you, LA Galaxy. This was a heck of a performance.
What an effort here tonight in Southern Texas. LA Galaxy 2, they might be tied at 3 points at the top of the table, but they feel like they're solely in first place. Kai Koreniuk, a brace today, potentially 3 goals could have came. Just didn't find that last one when he needed it. What an effort all around for LA Galaxy 2. 5 goals allowed by RGV at home. First time, as we mentioned, in their history. Smiles all around for LA Galaxy 2, and we'll see why coming up after the break. Full-time highlights and stats from Edinburgh, Texas. What a showing, putting the USL Championship Western Conference on notice. It's LA Galaxy 2, 5-1 over RGV.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots. to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
Sir, you got Bud Light?
Back there.
Bud Light made a seltzer?
Wait, Bud Light made a seltzer?
I wonder what it tastes like.
Only one way to find out. What are the taste buds saying?
Tastes great. No Bud Light, just hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Light and refreshing. It says light and refreshing.
Let's get that instead.
Wait. Post Malone doesn't drink seltzer. We drink Bud Light. Everybody knows that.
Why not try something new?
Bud Light. Seltzer. Bud Light.
Seltzer.
Bud Light.
Well, season 1 was much better than season 2.
Guys, we're incredibly rich. Let's get both.
I'll get both. You got any pretzels?
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
Welcome back here to H-E-B Park. 5-1 in favor of Los Dos as we get set to check out how we got here in our full match highlights. And Devin, early on, it was RGV getting things going, but LA Galaxy 2, the counterattack at what really got things going here in Edinburgh, Texas.
I told you, Kai Koreniuk, this guy, sky's the limit, to be honest. You just had to find a way to make sure that ball's out in front. He's not great with his back to his goal. That's somewhere where he has to evolve as a player. But 13 minutes in, uno. Who knew there would be dos? In terms of goals anyway, 30th minute. And again, they had a storm that they really weathered come RGV early on. A lot of opportunities up top. Garrett McLaughlin started to give themselves some chances, but they just couldn't put anything away. Carlos Dunbar, 17 years of age. Take notice, pay attention, write that name down, write it all down, and let's run it back again, because this time he's going to do it on the other side of the ball. Cuts back across here, but this was the controversial one. Does it get over the line? I still say no. I'm sorry. The angle's off. It's a difficult one. Now we'll go to Dunbar. That's great. Lovely little overlapping run. Love the ball in by Cuevas. Don't forget that name. Again, everybody got into the act. Great job playing it in here. And watch this. Just cuts it back across the 6. Augustine Williams, 53 minutes in. Great. So we're done, right? It's 3-0. Let's put it on cruise control. Absolutely not. 67 minutes. Kai Koreniuk, no apologies necessary. Yes, you saw it the first time. Yeah, you're going to see it again because it's his second goal of the night. That's the quad. And lucky number 5, no. Lucky number 6, no. 7, no. 1. RGV, only 1 goal to show for their chances tonight, which was quite perplexing, to be honest. Love the fact that it's Luca Perpa. He created a lot of opportunities. They had a lot of chances themselves. This is the brilliance that is Los Angeles Galaxy 2 and what Junior Gonzalez gets to work with. Mauricio Cuevas, right back, steps up, bottom left. See you later. 5-1.
And the funny thing is, shots on target, look at that. More for RGV, but LA Galaxy 2 putting 5 in the back of the net on 6 shots on target.
And you got to figure about 12 of those with 6 or 7 on target were in the first half. Again, if you don't put your opponent away like that and they put 2 in the back of the net, you got to restructure yourselves. Still feel like they were lacking in the center of the park a little bit. The shape could have changed. They didn't do that till about the 60th minute. What happened? They started creating a bit more. You finally started getting some opportunities. It was too little, too late. By the 60th minute, you're down 3-0, 67-4. Never make it back.
Well, to say the least, LA Galaxy 2 putting the Western Conference on notice after a 2019 playoff campaign. They're here alive and well, 5-1. They win it at H-E-B Park. For our entire crew alongside me, Devin Kerr, I'm Chris Berkowiak, finishing off week 1 in the USL Championship. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.